Well, the title of the book I got from Jesus, because Jesus in Luke chapter 18, he pauses and he says, "When I come again, when the Son of Man, when the human one comes again, will there be faith on earth?" And it was as if it was a very human moment for Jesus. He'd been going around Galilee preaching for 3 years, if we take John's chronology, and it's like he's facing into Jerusalem, because Luke chapter 19 is the entry into Jerusalem, and it's as if he says, will any of this last? Will there be faith? And I was very confronted by the question, because it was a pressing question. Jesus had it as a pressing question, but it's all the more pressing in our time. And basically I answer, will there be faith? I say, it all depends. It all depends on how we teach it, how we preach it, how we represent it. If we can present it to people in ways that will be tremendously enriching of their lives, that will enable them to make meaning out of life, to find purpose, to live as better people, to be more ethical, more centered, more honest in their ways of being in the world, I think if it improves and enhances people's lives, then there will be faith. But it'll have to be by persuasion, by conviction. There was a time when we became people of faith. Whatever the faith of our parents was, we tended to embrace it as well. But that day is largely gone now. Young people and all people will make up their own mind. So they have to see that the faith can be a real asset to how they live their lives. That life lived with faith is far richer than life lived without it. And if we can convince people of that, then they will embrace the faith. Whereas if they don't recognize that, or if we present it in ways that don't touch their lives and their hearts, then it's in very precarious whether or not there will be faith. This new book, Will There Be Faith? It lays out in very plain language the rationale for our faith, who is supposed to educate in faith, why are we supposed to educate in faith, and then how will we go about it. So it does that in a very comprehensive and a very readable way. It's more of a popular book. I think anybody with ability to read will be able to understand it. I've written books that are more difficult to read, and therefore doctoral students, master students, graduate studies, and so on. But this book, I think any parent could read it, any teacher could read it, any person of goodwill will be able to understand it and put it to work in their own life, in their own family, wherever they find themselves.